Welcome back, guys. So today we're going to talk XP. I am currently level 183, and I was wondering how far off am I from getting to 200 and maxing out. I needed the extra skill points, so I started doing a little grinding and testing. In today's video, I'm going to answer that question, back it up with some numbers, plus I'm going to show you a bug which is negatively impacting pretty much everybody in the game. So hopefully you can avoid that while you're out there grinding. So let's get into it. So first off, we have 5 different ways of getting experience. Mining is one way. Just picking stuff up anywhere off the ground is another way. Killing enemies, mostly just mobs. You can kill players, but we'll get to that. We have discovery, so discovering any kind of locations. And then finally, doing any kind of quests or journeys. Now for quests and journeys, there are no repeatable quests in Dune Awakening. So I will just advise you should do your quests to completion at whatever pace that you wish. These are all worth it. They give pretty decent experience. Outside of quests, there are journeys to complete. The journeys aren't bad. They give 200 XP usually because they're pretty simple. They'll ask you to do tasks that you may normally do, but in a lot of cases, things that you've missed are like kill things with a weapon maybe that you never bothered to use. All in all, journeys are just extra bags of experience you can pick up, but again, one-time completion, not bad to do. Definitely go through and do all your quests, not just for the money early game, but obviously the XP you get off some of these quest chains does ramp up pretty well. Now next up we have mining. This is likely your slowest, worst form of XPing. It's not that it takes so long, but you just pack on weight, you won't be doing a lot of mining, or you just don't do it for long periods of time. You get 5 XP per mining node throughout the game, no matter your level, no matter what you're mining. So that's just that. Mining's very simple. You pack on a lot of weight. It takes a couple seconds to do. This is not something you do for grinding, but that's just where it's at. 5 XP a pop. Your goal is to maximize the amount of resources you get from mining. So obviously, you're not trying to mine a lot. But with that base covered, it brings us right to our next one, which is picking stuff up off the ground. It's actually one of the best ways to XP in the game. This is kind of stupid, but you do get 2 XP per piece of anything you pick up off the ground. So I ran a few tests and was able to pull about 2,500 XP in a half hour of picking up items. Now, this is dependent on having a good loop to run, filled with tons of trash and no bases blocking you. Southern Haga Basin turns out to be a pretty good route. Basically, you can just loop areas down here and pick up scrap, plant fibers, and granite. Every resource has 3 items to pick up, which is 6 XP. This is definitely a bit boring though, don't get me wrong, but I'm here to talk about optimal XP routes. When your weight hits higher ends, you just dump off the scrap, you dump off the granite, you just throw it on the ground. Additionally, you can then use the plant fibers to craft loads of bandages, which only weigh 1 pound per stack. Basically, this isn't a bad thing to do now and again when you need to stock up on fibers or bandages. It's great XP. The only way you can really outpace this is through killing mobs, and you have to kill really efficiently to outpace this. But 2,500 XP in 30 minutes is about 84 XP per minute, which is picking up 42 items per minute. That is a ton, so you'll have to find and focus areas where there are huge surpluses of starter resources. These do exist in South Haga Basin, but there's also places in other areas that aren't terribly bad that just have huge mixes of resources and even bases with mobs nearby. They will still give you low amounts of XP, something like 10 per kill, but you can literally just drop a Mentat turret to do the job and continue along your way picking things up. Other decent places could be the very tops of the shield wall. There's a lot of trash items up there, decent bases to kill at. And really, this just brings us to our next category, which is killing mobs. Now, at higher levels, you will get reduced XP for killing mobs. It's something like 12, 14, or 16 for mobs. Range will usually give lower amounts, heavies and melee a bit higher. But keep in mind, that's the equivalent of picking up 6 to 8 items in South Haga Basin, so you're gonna have to be efficient in your killing. If you're curious, killing players gives 33 XP as well, about double that, but there's a significant cooldown and no way to exploit or loot that easily right now, at least not that I'm aware of or cared enough to really dig in and try to find out. So I have made optimal routes to XP on and have a diagram here, which I'll add to a link in the description. Comm stations and the higher level PvP zones like the Aegis or Passage of Artemis, these are tougher, but they give a bit more XP. These are great. The only downside with this strategy is sometimes some of these areas aren't spawned or have been killed. Beyond that, we have to travel and kill efficiently. I recommend you use my melee build. It's in my last video I just put out, so if you need to use that for reference, I'd use that. It kills fast in PvE, and you take no damage really with the Holtzman shield up all the time. You get to use Mark V gear as well for this, just use a Jolt sword. The rest is just using the right skills and the right technique. You clear out these areas, and if you do this, you will learn where the mobs are and how to clear them quickly. When you're finished clearing an area, you want to just jump off the edge or get outside the zone as quick as possible with a flying knee and board your ornithopter. This can be done in midair as well and will save you a lot of time. A pro tip for traveling in such a manner, just keep your vehicle backup tool on you in your hand when you get in and out of your vehicle. You're able to exit and spam the load button and you'll load it immediately. This will help you get in and out quickly. The only thing is, just don't forget to turn on your Holtzman shield whenever you exit. Otherwise, you're taking those darts right to the face. But all in all, killing efficiently wasn't bad, and in about 30-minute window, I killed about 165 mobs, earned about 2,500 XP as well. It was about the same amount as XP as role-playing as a trash man in South Haga Basin, but my test run was a bit slow the first time, the one I actually measured, and I was doing this a bit faster in subsequent runs that I didn't measure to the minute. Additionally, with the run that I did measure, I was getting out at certain places that weren't spawned at some stations, and I really didn't subtract time from that. So you should fly to them and look before you get out. If there's nothing there, you just move on. This really cut into my time, so I know I could have killed a bit more efficiently than picking things up. The last piece of advice on killing mobs is that they do have longer spawn times. I'm not actually positive what it is. It's over 30 minutes. It could be 45 minutes like chest spawns. What is important is to tell you is that you can just switch sietches by logging out to the character screen, go and select a different sietch, log in there. This will place you at Griffin's trade post. Make sure you of course packed your ornithopter. From here, you go talk to the ornithopter pilot, ask him to take you to Pinnacle Station, and boom, you can jump right back on your route of infinite destruction. All in all, killing mobs versus being a trash collector are pretty close ways to XP. And the reason for that is you have the travel time and you don't have reliable availability in killing these mobs. So this kind of brings me to our last point in the categories we discussed, which is discovery. Now, discovery experience gives you a lot per point for the most part. You may get 100 or 200 generally, but sometimes you even get 300 or 350 for discovering some locations. Some of these cave locations give 200 or maybe 100, but oftentimes they just give 20 in Haga Basin. So that kind of sucks, but I'd recommend just trying to scout out all of them here. And remember, there's still mobs we get to kill there. Now here's the kicker for someone like me who's discovered most of their map already, and the terrible bug that I mentioned at the beginning of the video. If you discover any location while you are in a vehicle, you do not get any discovery experience. And once it's discovered, you miss out on getting that experience. And that's it, you can never reclaim it. I tested this with a couple other characters to make sure this wasn't a UI error. I discovered a couple locations on and off, seeing if it was stacking up, if it was just hiding in the UI, but no. If you are in a vehicle, you fly to a location and you discover it, you do not get the XP and you miss out on it. There may have been one instance I did get XP for something, but overall, the point here is do not be in a vehicle when discovering locations. I even tested this on a sand bike right before recording here, and same thing, I have definitely been robbed. So it's pretty unfortunate because that XP for discovery adds up big time. The best thing you can do is naturally explore areas you have not discovered yet. Pick up trash like everywhere you go. There's just always trash everywhere. Pick this up while killing mobs and discovering and just moving through, going area to area. The more trash that's in the area, the better. And that is the most optimal format. And it comes in bursts, but clear out areas on foot. Just get out of your vehicle before discovering locations. Now for Discovery XP, we also have the Deep Desert, which resets every week and is worth the XP, but will not dramatically outperform these other methods. You can get 8,100 experience scanning all 81 sectors of the 9x9 Deep Desert. But there's also the discovery experience of testing stations and caves to collect on too, and these will be about 100 to 200 XP boosts. From my experience, shipwrecks aren't giving XP at all, so you don't really have to worry about those. But scanning requires a lot of flying, waiting while scanning, but it is nice to change it up because any one of these methods gets pretty damn boring. But again, get out of your vehicle before you arrive. It's not bad to just bail out of the ornithopter as you fly in above and pick it up on the ground. Hopefully they can fix this, but most of us probably missed out on well over 10,000 experience per character on this if you did in fact discover a lot of your map already and typically just drove up to it in a vehicle like I did. All in all, these are your best XP methods. I'll close with this thought and consideration as well. I found this XP chart online and wanted to see if it was accurate or not. I was level 179 when I ran my XP test, and I wanted to say I tracked my XP loosely per minute, and I believe it did take me just over 4,000 experience to get this level. With that in mind, this cumulative number here shows by the time you reach level 180, you are almost halfway to level 200. So here I am now sitting at level 183 saying, maybe I'm not about to grind these last 17 levels vigorously. The XP curve is an exponential kick in the balls. Leveling up to 150 is going to feel pretty static and not bad though. I guess this is fine overall, but for those of you wondering about grinding or just kind of taking your time in the home stretch, I thought I'd help put it in perspective after doing a deep dive on everything EXP-wise in Dune Awakening. Grinding like this may be something you save for if your faction is able to win the Landsrad and take the EXP bonus that week. Then it may be worth leveraging these grinding routines that week. But that is up to you guys. My job here is done. That's everything I got on Dune Awakening as far as XP goes. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you want to see more content like this, and leave me any comments. If you guys have some better ideas on how to XP, I'd love to see it. Hopefully I'll see you guys for the next video. Until then, take care.